Florida has one of the largest prison populations and the 11th highest state imprisonment rate in the nation, with more than 96,000 people in its prisons as of June 2018. For decades, Florida has relied on incarceration as the solution to social problems such as mental health, poverty, and addiction, resulting in tens of thousands of people in prison at taxpayers' expense. Florida prioritizes punishment over rehabilitation by putting a cap on rehabilitation efforts in prison. This broken system costs Florida taxpayers approximately $2.7 billion a year. This rehabilitation cap limits the amount of rehabilitation credits a person in prison may earn to reduce the time that person spends in prison by engaging in rehabilitation efforts like good behavior, education and vocational training, and prison programs. As a result, Florida's prison population grew 12% between 2006 and 2016, even though crime rates dropped 33% for violent offenses and 28% for property offenses. The length of these sentences increased greatly, keeping people in prison for much longer periods of time. Here are 3 reasons why this rehabilitation cap is a problem. 1. This cap stifles good behavior and rehabilitation. Once a person hits the cap on rehabilitation credits by earning a 15% reduction in their time served in prison, there is no incentive for further rehabilitation. This eventually leads to fewer people gaining the skills necessary to be successful once they return to their communities, resulting in increased recidivism. 2. The rehabilitation cap is outdated and arbitrary. It was enacted in the 1990s and is based on debunked social science that has since been rejected by criminal justice experts. It unfairly treats all people in prison the same through a one-size-fits-all approach that ignores each individual's changed behavior and rehabilitation. 3. The rehabilitation cap reduces public safety by failing to motivate people in prisons to engage in rehabilitation and self-improvement, thus forcing them to stay in prison longer. Research shows that longer prison stays and a lack of encouragement to rehabilitate will likely increase their chances of reoffending once they return home to their communities. A potential solution to these problems would increase the amount of rehabilitation credits available to people in prison, along with removing the cap. This could save Florida taxpayers as much as $870 million over a 5-year period. That money could instead be reinvested into rehabilitative programs, education, mental health and substance abuse treatments, and to address racial disparities in the criminal justice system. As a result, fewer people would return to prison and more people would be rehabilitated and return home with the skills and education necessary to successfully rejoin their communities. When our system prioritizes punishment over rehabilitation, we all lose. We should reward rehabilitation. It's time to scrap the cap.